He's a multi-Grammy-winning recording artist and pastor. Find out how Smokie Norful is releasing the pressure and how you can reach your full potential by simply taking the lid off. Plus,
every time I asked them, how can I pray for you? The only answer I got there was, pray that we can find food tomorrow.
How CBN Superbook is making a difference in the war-torn Middle East. All that and more on today's 700 Club Interactive.
Well, welcome to the show. Here's a look at this week's top 5 stories from Studio 5.
At number 5. Oprah continues her giving ways in Atlanta.
She's in town tonight celebrating the Ron Clark Academy's 10th anniversary. The highlight of the evening.
I'm so moved by everything I've heard here tonight. I was going to say, I'm going to match your $500,000. I'm going to match your $500,000. That was what I was going to say. But I've now decided I'm going to give $5 million. Oh, my God. $5 million! To the Ron Clark Academy!
The Ron Clark Academy is a highly acclaimed nonprofit middle school.
The reason why I am here, I'm giving up my time for free to be here to support them is to say bravo, keep doing it. Because there is not a better school, organization, institution in the USA.
At number 4. The Christian Post highlights these 4 up-and-coming Christians in comedy. There's John Crist.
Yeah, you walk into the building, you're not sure if it's a church or a banana republic.
Angela Johnson.
I have a bad habit of judging people. Like if I see some dude that look creepy, I'd be like, ooh, he gonna kidnap me.
Kevin Fredericks.
Before you post that picture of your Thanksgiving plate, ask yourself, why? Is this really anything people haven't seen before?
And Yvonne Orji.
There is one big obstacle. I'm always gangstar with a capital gang.
At number 3.
I'm gonna be a mighty king, so enemies beware.
Disney is enlisting a superstar cast for its live-action remake of The Lion King.
And everyone is going cray over Faye. While there were rumors about it, Beyoncé is now officially on board to play Nala. Disney shared the news on Twitter, which has now gotten more than 179,000 retweets. Rounding out the cast, James Earl Jones will play Mufasa. Alfre Woodard will play his wife, Sahari.
The Lion King remake hits theaters in the summer of 2019.
Hakuna Matata. It means no worry.
At number 2.
An American Idol finally has a premiere date. ABC's reboot of the singing competition show will debut Sunday, March 11th. No word if it'll just air Sunday nights or 2 nights a week, like it used to.
At number 1.
I'll take over because in the architecture of this firm, I am a pillar.
Yes, and Roman, I'd hope to reward you for that.
Hope don't get the job done.
All rise. Denzel Washington delivers a transformative performance in Roman J. Israel Esquire. And that's no accident. Israel is an activist attorney, and Washington believes it's important he use his platform to shine a light on his Christian faith.
Does faith require activism for us to be active?
Well, you have to use your gifts. You know, faith without works is nothing. So not everybody has to be an activist. A woman prophesied years and years ago that I would travel the world and preach to millions of people. And I remember, you know, and I have traveled the world. I don't know if I'm a preacher, but through my work, I've spoken. And now I try to speak more in public. But I asked my pastor, I said, well, does that mean I'm supposed to be a preacher? He says, well, no, you already have a pulpit. So he didn't say stay in your lane, but you know, so try to be an agent for good. You know, that's what I'm all about now. I'm in the service business.
Roman J. Israel Esquire is in theaters in time for Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry, why are the sisters standing and the brothers sitting?
That's gendered and sexist.
And polite.
And patronizing.
And polite.
Well, our friend's here with us live, and you got to admire Denzel.
Oh, love him.
Here he
Love
is.
him.
He's just hitting it out of the park.
Absolutely. The performance in this film is amazing. He gained 30 pounds, grew his hair out to have a fro. He's an activist attorney stuck in a bit of a time warp while, you know, dealing with millennials and struggling with how do I matter and how do I remain relevant in this time. And a bit, as Denzel said, he played him a bit on the spectrum. He's awkward in social environments, but it's no accident the character is called Roman J. Israel, and Denzel served as a producer on this film. Both he and the director are believers. Dan Gilroy, they started every single day on the set with scripture and prayer, and he believes now that wholeheartedly he must use his platform to do good and to be a witness, and it's beautiful to see.
Well, it seems like he's getting into a whole, I don't know if season's the right word, or is that too Christian-y? He's getting into a new phase where he seems to be far more vocal about it. Not that he was shy before, but he's
Absolutely.
definitely going out front with it now.
It is intentional, it is on purpose, and that is his plan. He, in our conversation, talked about the fact that he no longer drinks alcohol. He's given up that, and he is really pushing and challenging everyone to rise up, and the subtitle of the film is All Rise, no accident, to literally rise up, live out their faith more publicly. He encouraged millennials to do the same, not to be ashamed of Jesus Christ, especially on social media. He is anti-social media, but he's saying if you're going to use it as a platform to make change and to do good, and not for what we're seeing it play out more often than not on it.
I wonder, should we sponsor a preaching tour for him?
I think we should. I volunteer to travel with you.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that. You know, if that's a prophecy, well, let's make it come true.
I like it. I like the way you think.
Well, I like him. I admired his career. I admire his ability. He certainly does have a pulpit with that ability. But what I really admire is that he is unashamed.
Absolutely.
And he's, in today's culture, that is seemingly getting to be harder.
Yes, indeed, and especially in Hollywood. But I can say that literally I've gone to the churches where he attends, both in New York and in L.A., and when you go, you pretty much know for sure Denzel is going to be there and unashamedly worshiping in front of thousands as well, and it's beautiful to see.
Okay. American Idol coming back.
American Idol is coming back in March. We still don't know many of the details, but it's coming back. I can tell you that Lionel Richie has even licensed the phrase that he thinks he's going to make popular on the show. It's "Here Comes the Judge." Those of us old enough will know that was actually old, but he's now licensed it. He is going to make products with it, hoping for it to catch on. We don't know if it's going to be one night or two nights.
Yeah, that was a comedy line from the 60s.
Yeah, I remember. I wasn't around, but I do remember that.
Oh, I was around. So. Well, it does beg the question, why did it go away?
It was very expensive to do. It was not as popular. Yeah, it was getting expensive. I mean, when we look at the salaries, even for the
versus
salaries,
scripted drama? Come on.
Well, no, not by comparison, but it wasn't the moneymaker that it was for Fox.
I'll put my executive hat on.
No,
I'll take live television every day over scripted, and scripted, the budgets always go up.
Yeah, the salaries of the judges, though, also kept going up, and of course Ryan Seacrest's salary went up, but ABC is taking a gamble here and seeing if it can come back.
They went and got new judges.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And their salaries aren't quite as high, but yes, they did.
All right, Disney's taking Lion King into live action, and I'm kind of wondering, is that going to work?
This has been the trend for Disney animation. The beautiful thing is that they literally pull out all the stops in terms of the cast. I mean, when you have Beyonce signing on, you got James Earl Jones signing on, Alfred Woodard. Yeah, I mean, so they are really pulling out all the stops to do this live animation. I will say, for me, Lion King is my favorite Disney story to watch. It's the one. It's the one that I still, to this day, when I watch with a notebook and take notes of quotes and things that I learned from the film. So I'm excited to see what they do with this. But that's been their new thing, making the animated live action.
Uber fan.
Yeah, I am. I am. I have a son,
Great
too. So,
circle of life.
Yes, you got it. You got it. And now covering it.
All right. Well, we've got Christian comedians, which, again, seems to be going against type these days. But I applaud it. I think it's wonderful that there are new names coming up and want to be known. I'm a Christian comic. I'm a clean comic.
Very nice.
What do you think of them?
They're doing very well. All four, they're successful. And the thing about it is they're successful in their own right, navigating their own way. Like Yvonne Orji, you're looking at right there. She is famous for the HBO series Insecure. Now, that script is pretty daring, so whenever she sits down for an interview, people are always challenging her for being a part of it. But she says, you know, she promised God that whatever platform he gave her, that she would not be ashamed to use it. So she is using that platform to talk about purity, the fact that she is, you know, in her 30s, never been married, but also remaining a virgin until that day comes, and getting a lot of attention for doing that and speaking out and saying that. And all of those comedians all saying the very same thing, using their platform to make people laugh, but also to be a witness to Jesus, Jesus Christ.
Harold Bredesen told me about 25 years ago, and we were questioning different venues, and he said, Gordon, if I had an opportunity to preach in hell, I'd take it. Yeah. Which, you know, it really does sum it all up, that, you know, wherever you can go.
That's right.
And wherever you can be a light.
And where there's darkness, that's where light's needed the most. So.
Okay. Oprah's at it again.
She's at it again. I will just say,
she's giving away stuff.
$5 million to the Ron Clark Academy. When I saw that, I immediately went digging to find out about this teacher. This gentleman, she actually met on the Oprah Winfrey Show back in 2001. He was a teacher in North Carolina who was awarded being one of the best teachers in the country. He has since taught in Harlem, gone on to teach in Atlanta, and opened an academy for disadvantaged children, making a huge impact and huge difference. She actually spoke at the school's first graduation in 2010. They're marking their anniversary now. That night, all total, with her $5 million gift, they raised $12 million to build a performance art academy onto that school.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah.
Yay.
Yes. Beautiful.
Anytime you can educate children, particularly disadvantaged children.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and to see the lives change, I mean, these children are in tears saying that this teacher was the only person to not give up on them. Even despite their bad behavior, the things they were doing, he still never gave up on them, and actually goes to the homeless, every single kid at the start of the school year, to meet with the parents and see what their living conditions are like.
Yeah, and just underscores the power of expectation. If you expect to succeed, then you will. If you expect to fail, it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, if you want to keep up on entertainment news, all you have to do is go to Ephraim's weekly show, Studio 5. You can watch it online at cbn.com/Studio 5. Well, up next, he was Billboard's #1 gospel artist and had 2 gold albums. Find out why, at the height of his career, Smokie Norful said he was miserable. Smokie joins us in the studio, so stay with us. Well, fear, doubt, and frustration are sadly common, and even among Christians. Grammy winner and pastor Smokie Norful says relieving the pressure is as simple as taking the lid off. Take a look.
By 2004, gospel artist Smokie Norful was at the height of his career. He won a Grammy in 2005 and was living the dream. But Smokie felt like something was missing in his life. And after recording in the studio one day, he decided to start a church. Today, Smokie is the senior pastor of Victory Cathedral Worship in Chicago, which meets on 3 campuses. In 2015, he won his 2nd Grammy. In his book, Take the Lid Off, Smokie shares why he said yes to ministry and music and offers practical tips on living life without limitations.
Well, Smokie joins us, and it's an honor to have you.
It's an honor to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, you know, what I'm hearing is that you're living the dream. You're winning awards. You're being very successful with your voice, and yet you're not happy.
Yeah, that was a huge lack of peace. You know, I figured this out. There's no amount of anything that can replace or pay for your peace. And for me, I was in that season of having the desires of my heart being fulfilled and the joys of all the trappings that come with celebrity, with reaching the top of any vocation. And in my regard, it was the music industry. And still not finding any kind of peace, any kind of rest or resolve, feeling like something was missing. And ultimately, I had to yield and realize, God, I'm doing what I want to do, but am I really doing what you want me to do? Am I fulfilling my purpose? And that was ultimately the missing component.
All right, so you're in the middle of a recording session.
Yes.
And suddenly you start saying, I'm going to start a church.
I have been feeling that for a long time. It's like we expect that it's going to be this sudden, this instantaneous moment, but really the moment was the breaking point. Over a course of time, I realized I even got to a place, I'm a PK, grew up a PK all my life, but I got into the place, and people are shocked when I say this, that I didn't even...
For those of you who don't know what PK means, it means pastor's kid.
There you go, pastor's kid.
Preacher's kid.
Yeah.
So you grew up in church.
I grew up in church.
In church. You lived in church.
I lived in church, and
every Wednesday night you were in church.
Every Wednesday night.
Every Sunday morning, every Sunday night.
Absolutely.
And usually Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely. I had a drug problem growing up, and my parents drugged me to every service. Any service that was happening, they drugged me to it. And so, having that exposure, having that foundation, I realized what was right. I knew what was right. But I had gotten to a point where I stopped going to church because I didn't have a peace, and I was running from anything that would provide me the accountability to know you're supposed to be doing this. There's something else for you. And so I really kind of tried to escape within myself, only to figure out you can't run. You'll never, I could continue to do what I was doing, continue to be #1 on the charts, continue to work hard, but I would not have fulfillment. I wouldn't have peace. And that ultimately was me saying, God, okay, yes. Well, that studio moment was just the breaking point. It was the moment when I said, God, I know. Let me go ahead and jump in and do what I'm supposed to do, what I'm called to do. So my compromise was a Bible study. It's like I just do.
So I don't have to. So it wasn't. I'm going to start a church.
No,
it was.
No.
I'm going to start a Bible study.
It's still, I was still.
Take this. I'm going to put my big toe in.
Exactly.
and not go all in.
Exactly. And so once I finally got to the point of starting the Bible study, God is so amazing, and I love the way that He humors us to think that we're compromising, that we're getting away with something. But we went from 12. In about a month, we had 100 people. In about 2-3 months, we had 200 or 300 people. I mean, and it just kept growing and escalating. I'm like, God, wait a minute. This is the Bible study. It's just the Bible study.
It was bigger in my living room.
Exactly.
Where do you meet with 300 people for a Bible study?
Well, we went to a hotel. I got a little small room. I went in a little small ballroom. I actually just first started with a conference room in the hotel, in a little meeting space. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Then I said, okay, we need a little bigger space. You guys quit telling people about the Bible study. It's just a closed Bible study. Yeah, be quiet.
Just for us.
Exactly, like Christ. I'm gonna bless you with this miracle, but don't tell anybody. And so again, we just grew inside that hotel until eventually I had to launch and go into a high school, a big, huge high school auditorium, and we were there for 7 years before even getting our own personal or permanent facility.
Yeah, you got a building now.
We have several buildings now.
You got 3 campuses.
Yes.
It just God is blessing, and it's growing.
Yes.
And so how's your happiness level now?
Well, I think happiness comes and goes. Happiness is relative. It's really existential. Whatever your circumstances on the outside can really determine and dictate your happiness. But my joy level is absolutely amazing. And that really, you can't touch that with any external circumstance. So it's something that you get when you know that you're in the will of God, when you're walking in the peace of God, and when your life is being fulfilled. You're feeling like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So my joy level is through the roof, even though happiness, you have good days, you have bad days. And I think that becomes, our motivation. And if we're not careful, it'll become our focal point. We think that every day with God is supposed to be happy. You have unhappy moments.
Well, you've got a chapter in your book, Take the Lid Off, that really hit me, and giving yourself away.
Yes.
And I just think that that's a fundamental to the Christian life.
Right.
That we're supposed to give ourselves away.
Yeah, unfortunately, many of us, when we get ready to take the lid off and experience this abundant life that we want so badly, we skip over You know, everything that Christ said, you know, as it relates to us giving ourselves or presenting ourselves to other people. But over and over and over again, that's the message of the gospel. It's a message that says you've got to present yourself to others in order to be fulfilled in yourself. We're very selfish people, you know, and it's part of our human nature. It's humanity. Yeah. Nobody has to teach a child to say mine. It's instant. You know, you have to teach them to say, to share, but you don't have to teach them to say, no, mine. And so we work all of our lives to overcome that. And we really never will be fulfilled within ourselves, never truly have joy, never know real peace until we get over ourselves, stop being so self-centered and self-centric, and realize that our lives are really presentations to others so that God can get the glory out of them.
I love the illustration in the book where you're having a birthday party for one of your kids, and you're getting all the presents, and on the way home, you decide, well, I'm going to give a life lesson here.
Right.
And you said you can have 3 of the presents.
Right.
But I need you to give away all the others.
Right.
For people who are needy.
Right. It was a faith-walking moment that I wasn't crucified when I got home, you know, that my kids didn't do something to me while I was sleeping. But it really proved to be a very valuable lesson for them that has now carried over into their lives, that I don't have to put that mandate upon them. I don't have to make them choose. They're trying to tell me now, Dad, we need to give to this. Dad, we need to do that. They're very compassionate people. They realize the value of giving. They know that our blessings are a result of their capacity and their heart to be generous to other people, to give themselves away. You know, I have a saying at my church, it's actually a meme that goes with GYA, give yourself away, a kind of a para-organization or sub-organization of our ministry. And it simply says this: live to be missed, not just remembered. That is our mantra. Live to be missed, not just remembered. So I teach my kids, and it started there as babies. You got all the church members that are pouring all these things in your lap, and you got the favor of God on your life, but you have a responsibility because there are others that don't have it. And so I want them to live to be missed, not just remembered. If they were gone, I said, who would miss you? Not remember you. Oh, yeah, I remember that guy. Who would actually miss you? If the church that we pastor, if we were out of the community, would somebody say, man, we sure miss what they did for us or what they did for the community and for the people? Or would they just say, yeah, I remember that church? So that really, you know, that's a huge part of me as an individual, my family, and even our church family.
You can tell Smokey, born to be a pastor.
Yes.
He's not going to stop with 3 campuses. He's going to keep growing. But I encourage you to get this book. Take the lid off. If you're frustrated in life as to, you know, what's God's plan for you and what are the possibilities for you, read this. There are pastoral lessons in it, but just the main title, Take the Lid Off. If there's pressures on your life, it's a great illustration. Take the lid off. And he's also got a 12-track digital-only album of some of his most beloved songs. It's called Nothing is Impossible. You can find out how you can get it at cbn.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your life. Keep preaching.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, a life changed by the power of Superbook.
I grew up in a war zone. The only fun part of the day was when my grandmother had me watch Superbook.
Find out how Superbook is changing lives all over the world. That's up next. Well, the fighting in the Middle East has driven millions from homes. And for the first time in months, some refugees are now smiling, thanks to CBN's Superbook.
The United Nations now estimates that 1 to 2 million people live as refugees in tents and camps like this in the nation of Lebanon. It was into this place of suffering that Elian came to bring hope through Superbook to the land of her birth. The first step on her journey was a church inside Beirut, which had taken in 150 Iraqi and Syrian refugee children.
They were so curious to know, what is this Superbook? I loved that they were really watching and attentive to what was going on.
Then Elian made her way into a very different situation, a camp made up of hundreds of thousands of people in the Bekaa Valley, living in tents in the most desperate conditions.
Every time I asked them, how can I pray for you? The only answer I got there was pray that we can find food tomorrow.
Then they set up and showed the Superbook episode in the beginning to nearly 200 Muslim children and adults.
While they were watching, I was watching their faces. And there was this one child. His eyes were like shining. He was so into Superbook.
And the children responded when she introduced the Superbook curriculum to them.
We talked about God. What is God to you? Who is God to you? It was amazing how Superbook can bring joy.
Which brings us to the reason why Elian wanted to return to the land of her birth to bring Superbook to these children.
As I was walking in that camp, I looked at all these kids there. I saw me. I grew up in a war zone. The only fun part of the day was when my grandmother had me watch Superbook. Superbook is planted inside me. It changed my life as a child. I want all the kids in the Middle East to have access to Superbook. In every house, every church, and in every refugee camp. Because I know that it changed lives.
Be a part of it. Be a part of showing the children of the world the stories of the Bible. How? Just join the Superbook DVD Club. For a gift of $25 or more, we'll send you 3 copies of the latest episode. It's Peter's Escape. It's all available. All you have to do is call us, 1-800-700-7000, and say, I want to join the Superbook DVD Club. Here's a word from Matthew. Jesus said, let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. God bless you. We'll see you again.